so we are back from our little break. We just went into the mission and the goals of the STEAM Dream Team. We got a nice understanding of who these awesome alumni are and what they were involved in while they were part of the STEAM Dream Team. Now let's get into the roles and responsibilities. Miss Nannette, can you tell us, what's the STEAM Dream Team up to now? What's the status of the team? How many members are there?
Currently, of course, because of Corona, COVID-19, and social distancing, I'm having to really go back to the drawing board and kind of restructure how the STEAM Dream Team will be handled for this particular year. It probably will be something much more viral. But what's going to be really exciting about it is generally what we do is that we reach out into the community to other children. This year, we're going to do virtual activities that we share with our own elementary students at our own school, in addition to offering some of those virtual lessons to outside places. And again, that's all due to social distancing. And with everything getting together, when you ask me about the STEAM team, the STEAM team and where they are right now, I'm in the process of looking, evaluating, and selecting those students for this year.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see you. Who is it? I know you guys are like every year, the whole school is like, who's on the team? You guys are like mini celebrities. Um, so this question, I'm going to talk to my main man, Camden. Camden, how's it going?
Going good, going good.
Awesome. Camden, can you tell us a little bit about the structure of the STEAM Dream Team?
hmm so well, I'll start off with our responsibilities that we had at the school. So normally a normal day in a STEAM team would be after school. We'd have our meeting, and Miss Shillingford would tell us. She orchestrated it. Everybody got their part together, but so normally after that, most of the meeting would be spent taking care of the responsibilities around the school. So one of the responsibilities would be like the chicken coop, feeding the chickens, make sure that they're well fed, that they're okay, that everything's going well. Another one of my favorite ones, the greenhouse. Everybody loved the greenhouse. We went to the greenhouse, cleaned up. If there was extra algae or something in the tanks, we'd make sure we clean that, figure out a way to get it out, make sure it wouldn't be too much. All the levels were good, the plants were growing, everything was going smoothly. And then we have our responsibilities, such as like the tasks we take on the bus. I know we'll get in more into that later with the lesson plan and all, but main part of our responsibility, Miss Shillingford pushed this a lot. We go home and we think of a new plan every week to introduce something new to the students or the children that we're teaching. Um, it was it's a strenuous task. Honestly, if you how it sounds, if you do a new task weekly, it sounds like, okay, I have a week to think of this or that. But honestly, it was hard. It's harder than it sounds because Miss Shillingford, she's an excellent educator. So she doesn't want anything recycled at all. She wants it new. She wants to make sure it's done to a T as well. And you have to also be able to know everything that goes along with it. So if there's a question asked, you could answer it just like that in a quick, in a hurry. Um, I remember just an example. I remember I made a catapult thing that involved answering a question and getting it right. I worked on it. I brought it to the school, and then Miss Shillingford, she loved the idea, and she told me after, Cam, that's a great idea, but think of a way that you can better it and make it more. Because the questions were a little hard, I will say. So she said, think of a way you could better it. Make sure that they get something from it, but also make sure that they can be able to understand the terms and the terminology and definitions that's being used as well. That's just one of the many experiences. And
That's awesome.
also another main experience involving involving our responsibilities is our schoolwork. um Many people who thought, you know, the steam, like at the school, I say the students, they thought, okay, well, we leave Friday and we just wouldn't have to do work. Well, that wasn't true. We still have to do all the work that was required for us. And that's one of the main reasons Miss Shillingford is always pushing that, how we're leaders, because we do the stuff, I mean, so along with every other student, but we also do the stuff that's not seen. So okay, you see us on the news doing this and that, but then we come to school, do every assignment the teachers give it, make sure we get a good grade too. We don't half do anything. So we're making sure we're getting 90s and above. That was stress. We had to be able to get good grades, because to be able to continue to go out on Friday and teach other people, you still have to be able to be on top of your game so you could do that.
Absolutely. Wow. Camden, that was a great overview of you all's responsibilities. I'm glad that you took it outside of the STEAM Dream Team, because what you do in the classroom at date still overlap with what you all were trying to maintain, or what you did maintain with the STEAM Dream Team. Like you said, your coursework. You all had lots of responsibilities in both of those areas. Tell me a little bit about the structure. Do you all have some sort of executive board that was like the leaders within the leaders? Because all y'all are leaders. But did you have like some an e-board?
Yes, and we have two of those folks on here. Jada was a treasurer, and Evan was one of the presidents. So we had treasurers, presidents, we had a historian, a photographer. Some of those folks aren't on here, but yes, they were two of the leaders that we had on this team.
Awesome. You said Evan. Evan, tell me what you did.
As the leader, or as being the president of the two, I had to make sure everybody had their tasks ready for Friday. So on Wednesdays, we would get together, see what we needed, what we were going to focus on, and what we are going to push if we didn't push it the last week, what we were really going to focus on out of STEM. And when we'll get all our materials, make sure on Wednesday we'll have all our materials for Friday. And when we got there, we would set up everything, make sure everybody has their tents ready, their tables ready, have everything laid out to start. And then we would get the kids and we would bring them in, and I'll make sure everybody's doing their thing. So no slacking off, no trying to go talk to him or her, none of that. So I would try to keep them in line and check. If we had something missing, I would try to go find it and make sure we were on schedule, on time. So yeah.
That's awesome. Lots of responsibilities. And you said Jada.
Yes.
Miss Jada, what was your position and what were you responsible for?
I was treasurer, which means anytime we needed funds or funds calculated, I would be the one to do that. So, say like these shirts, for instance, I would collect the money from all the members and calculate and make sure everybody did their part, and that taught me a lot about responsibility.
That's so wonderful. And that goes along with your passions in math. So I love that you were the treasurer and you were exercising that passion. So that's so cool. Well, I'm going to move on to the coolest part, I think, about this team is the lesson plans. I was excited to get to this part. Evan, Mr. Evan, if you could tell us the process that you all take in creating these lesson plans, that'd be awesome.
We would first look at this whole STEM aspect. We would look through what we needed in STEM. So if we were missing some kind of math experiment or something math related, we would make sure somebody could bring something that Wednesday to focus on that. So throughout the week, we would gather up in the classroom and we would talk about, oh, did we get to do this science experiment, or did we focus on technology any? And if we weren't to do that, we were to make sure that that whole STEM was rounded and we could focus all the way through that. So on a Friday when we were actually get there, we weren't lacking, or we weren't, oh, we don't have any technology, we can't show them any technology. So we would, yeah. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So basically, making sure that was awesome, Evan, making sure that science, technology, engineering, and math and arts, where all of those were covered So Friday, basically, it would be a lesson plan every Friday, every time you all go out into the community and teach these younger audiences. Evan, are you saying you all make sure you have a lesson plan for each of those subject matters?
More so, yes. Yeah.
Like that was the goal.
Yeah,
Look,
that was the
we
goal.
know
Yeah,
that there are some factors sometimes that don't allow those things to, even time. Sometimes some experiments may take longer. I can only imagine when you get there. And then some kids get more excited about certain things. There's so many hidden factors, but ultimately, you all try to make sure that you have lesson plans for each of those subject matters, which is so great. And then once those are created, you all would you separate them per member to create? How would that work?
Once we would all get our experiments, yes, we would like give them every member. Sometimes we would group up, 2 people get one experiment, because there was a lot of us, and sometimes some people wouldn't be able to go because we had no space on the bus. It's yeah, we group up 2 by 2. Some people get their own, and if you really have something interesting, you might get it to yourself. And if you have something that requires 2 people, you get 2 people. But there's no like 3 people per table or something like that. So
That's
it's well
awesome.
balanced.
So then y'all come back, you have the lesson plans complete. And then now it's time to, do you guys like present it in front of each other, like test it out in front of each other, or does Miss Nannette review it?
Yes, we all circle up and you show your experiment to everybody. And if you get the thumbs up, you can bring it on Friday. If you don't, gotta go do something else, find something new. But yeah.
I love that. Oh, well, that's a cool process. And that's a very interactive and engaging moment for you all as well, just as the STEAM Dream Team, as your club, to bond and work together, utilize each other's strengths in order to accomplish that. That's awesome. Thanks, Evan. And last but not least, for in this section, I want us to walk in you all's shoes. Let's go to a Friday where you all go into the community and you speak to, you engage and interact and educate the youth, these younger audiences, with these experiments and lesson plans. Nicholas, can you walk us through that?
To walk us through what happens on all of our Fridays, like Camden and Evan were talking about how we have our lesson plans and responsibilities. Those are like the things that we will take with us to go educate the younger people on about. So our lesson plan. It was one of our responsibilities to make sure we always had our things. So whenever it was a Friday, that's when we go out. The main question you want to ask yourself is, are you ready to do this? So as one of our responsibilities, we always had to make sure we had the equipment for our lesson plan to make sure we can do it correctly. And say you had slime, for example, you had to make sure you had all those different ingredients like borax and stuff like that. And on top of that, you had to worry on if you can even make it. So what would be the point of doing that? But to like elaborate more on it, another one of our responsibilities would be to bring the actual equipment onto the bus with us. So we had to make sure we got up early, prepared the bus, and then we would all be done and settled, so that we'd be able to go on our journey to teach younger people about the knowledge that we've learned ourselves.
That's awesome. So y'all are on this bus, you got all your equipment, you're good to go. When you get there, let's actually start there. Where are some of these specific places you guys go to?
To say there, I'm not really good with directions, so I can't actually name a place. But to be more general, I'd have to say we go to different types of schools, for like elementary schools to teach people, second graders, first graders, kindergarteners. We even teach people in middle school, even people that are like older instead of younger, so it's easier for them to grasp things because their mind has been educated on some of these things. I remember my first time going to a grade in middle school on the STEAM Dream Team, and I felt so like I just felt out of place because it was like these kids I was teaching already knew about what I was teaching them. I thought to myself, I was like, oh, these kids are very smart. I shouldn't treat them like the younger ones. And Miss Shillingford, She already told me that when we got in the bus, and I'm sitting there looking a little bit shook because I didn't expect fifth graders to be so educated off the rip. It was like those kindergartners that we taught just evolved into some new metamorphosis of a kid.
That's good. Yeah, you know, and it was all, it sounds like it's thanks to the Steam Dream Team for working with them when they were younger. And now you go back in there in fifth grade, you're like, wait a minute, I remember you back in the day. What happened? And then you say, I remember specifically you had all the questions and now you're teaching me. But that's such a testament to what you all are doing. That I know it was probably like you said, you were probably a little shook, but I'm sure it was rewarding in the same breath because you all know y'all are doing some amazing work within the community. I love that. And then it also shows a part of the way that you had to adapt your lesson plan. That takes skills. Do you know that adults, that's hard for adults to do, to in the moment adapt and say, okay, this is the environment. We're with some really smart kids. Let me switch it up a little bit so that they also feel like they can engage at a level where they also will take something away from your plan. That's really, really cool. So then when you all are my last little question in this space, when you're engaging with these audiences, with these younger audiences, or with your peers, as you just mentioned, tell me about, like, what does that room feel like? What does that space feel like? What's the emotion that's happening in the room? And physically talk to us about how you interact with these students in order for them to really grasp the concepts you want them to understand.
So to be very specific, when I'm talking to like peers, like actual people who are on the STEAM team, instead of me being as serious as I am trying to make sure I get my point through, my peers are eighth grade as well with me. So sometimes I'll be talking to them as if they're actually me. So I'll say things very simply because I already feel as if they know it. But that's not what Miss Shillingford wants. She wants us to be able to like push over our limit of our knowledge and make our brain grow more into the tree that she wants us to have. So whenever I'm talking to peers, like take Evan for example, I remember one time we had a conversation about aquaponics, and I was talking. He was like, "Nicholas, you already know I know most of this stuff." And then I thought to myself, I was like, "Oh no, I need to go back and look up more things so I can make what I do to the best limit I can make it." But then when we have younger kids, instead of me starting off as simple as I do, I start off complex so then they can actually grasp onto something completely new. Like with the fifth graders I was just talking about, if I were to simplify it, they'd already know what I was talking about, and they start talking as if they were teaching me, and that's not what we needed. So I switched it up, like you said. I made it a lot more complex for them. So like the environment between my peers on the STEAM Dream Team and the actual kids that we go out to, they're one and the same, but they're different at the same time. One, I'm talking to people my level, which means I have to be over eccentrically smart. Like I have to be super smart. But then when we talk to kids, I still have to be smart so they can grab onto something that I'm teaching them. But I don't want to make it to the point where they have no clue what's happening at all. I still want them to be able to grasp onto it and explain it to their parents when they get home.
That's wonderful. That what we say in ACP and the Stepping STEM program, we say we like to bring the message to the students. So imagine if we're trying to drag you guys to this complicated, complex um, messaging or lesson plan. I mean, you'll get dead face, you'll get blank face. People will say, people will shut down. You want to make sure that your lesson plan, messaging, the way that you're communicating your information and what you want your audiences to grasp, it's targeted towards these specific audiences. You already know all this, and that is awesome. The fact that you were able to break that down, sir, I think you need to also just continue being an educator. I'm a student for life, so I believe that you have a bright future in continuing to educate. Shoot, even adults, anyone. Honestly, the fact that you know how to cater your messaging, that is so important, and I think that's awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to take a quick break just to summarize some things we discussed in this portion. we talked about the current status. Due to the pandemic right now, Miss Shillingford is in the selection process of finding new students that'll be a part of the new STEAM Dream Team, and also incorporating more virtual learning. That's going to be exciting. And then roles and responsibilities. I mean, my goodness, Miss Shillingford is not playing with these kids, okay? They have responsibilities just with Date Academy, with their other instructors, but also with the STEAM Dream Team. They are on top of it. We discussed what those are. And then the lesson plans, them being able to come together as a group, have a group think tank, discuss what it is that they need to cover in the sense of covering all of the STEAM and STEM fields, and then selecting which one of these lesson plans to actually present on Fridays. Then we talked about a day in the life of these awesome leaders when they go out into the community, and how they have to make sure that they focus their messaging to their specific targeted audiences in order for the message to be effectively communicated. That is awesome, y'all. We're going to come right back for our final segment. You guys, y'all are awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Just give us 1 second. We'll be right back.